Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our Read Live account setup webinar today. Today, I'll guide you through Read Live initial login, adding or updating schools, adding staff, adding students individually, or adding by importing students, single sign-on options, and assigning Read Live licenses and access to the applications available in Read Live based on your student needs. With your subscription to Read Live, your students have access to the entire suite of 4 highly effective applications. Read Naturally Live is our flagship program. The primary focus is fluency and phonics with additional support for vocabulary, spelling, and comprehension. Word Warm-Ups Live focuses on phonics with support for fluency, spelling, and phonemic awareness. Read Naturally Live Espanol is a Spanish language version of Read Naturally Live and is designed to help multilingual readers develop Spanish literacy skills. It focuses on fluency with support for vocabulary and comprehension. And 1 Minute Reader Live's primary focus is fluency with support for vocabulary and comprehension. 1 Minute Reader Live is a structured, independent reading practice for developing readers of all ages. So now I'm going to log into my Read Live account for a short demonstration. The main account contact receives an activation email from noreply@readnaturally.com with login instructions. You'll click on the URL in the email provided, readlive.readnaturally.com, to navigate to the Read Live homepage. The 8-digit account number, you'll add that if it's not already auto-filled. Then you'll enter your user ID, usually defaults to first initial last name, and then you'll enter the temporary password. When you log in for the first time, you'll be asked to change your password and set a security question. And then you'll go to this welcome page where you can go to the orientation and resources page. Based on your role in Read Live, it will give you instructions for next steps to get started. Otherwise, you can go to the home page. I'm going to click on that home page. And to get started, you'll click on Account and School Administration. When I click on that, I have information about my account. It tells me how many licenses are in my account, how many are available, and when my subscription expires, the account name and who the main account contact is. Over on the right side of the page is I will have one school listed. It usually says my school. If you want to change that, you can click on that school name and then just adjust it so that it's your school name. If it's just the one school in the account, you can leave it so that the school can use any available licenses within the account. If there are multiple schools in the account, you can reserve licenses for each school so that that school can only use those licenses that are reserved for them. Once you're done updating this page, you'll click Save and Close, and all your schools will be listed. You can see if any licenses are reserved. And if you need to delete a school at any point, you can just click delete to remove that school. Once your schools are added, you can go back to that home page and we can click on staff member administration. One thing about the tiles in Read Live that you should notice is that there's a list of different tasks that you can do if you click on that specific tile. So I'm going to click on staff member administration. So I can add a staff member. To add a staff member, you'll click Add Staff Member in the top left. You'll enter their first name and their last name. You'll select the role that you want that particular staff member to have. Across the page are basic permissions that role will have. If you want to see more detailed information, you can click on Learn More About Roles, and it has a very detailed list of the permissions that role would have. So you'll just choose what you want them to have. You can select their school. School coordinators can only be at one school. Teachers and Read Live assistants can be at any school. Account administrators have global access to the account. So I'm going to choose school for this teacher. You'll enter their email address and then you'll verify the email address. The user ID will default to their first initial last name, and then you'll save and close. When you click save and close, an email from noreply@readnaturally.com will be sent to that teacher, and then when they log in for the first time, they'll change the password and set a security question. On several pages in Read Live, at the top of the page are different column headings. If you click on those, the first time you click on it, it will sort ascending. You click it again and it will sort descending. If it has this little hamburger icon next to the column heading, if you click on that, you can filter by, just type in a couple of letters or a name and then click apply and it will narrow down your list. If you see this little funnel icon, that means it's filtered, and you just click on that hamburger icon again and click reset to bring back all of your list. You can see if you click on this, the last time a staff member has logged in. If they get locked out of the account, this unlock button will be highlighted and you can click on that to unlock them. Staff member, teachers, and Read Live assistants will automatically be unlocked after 30 minutes. If a teacher hasn't received their activation email, you can send them a reset password email by clicking on this reset button. That email will be valid for 8 hours. So now I'm going to go back to my home page. I also want to show you this hamburger icon in the upper left corner. It has the same places that you can go to as the tiles. It's just a drop-down format. So now we can add students. So I'm going to click on student administration. And here, if I click on student setup, I can add and assign licenses to my students individually. So at the top of the page are tiles with different tasks that you can do. I'm going to click on add student. Any field with an asterisk will need to be filled in. Their status will automatically be active. You'll select the student's current grade. You'll select the school. Their user ID needs to be unique. It can be their first and last name. It can be a student ID, something easy for the student to remember. And then you'll enter their password. The password does not need to be unique. It just needs to be at least 3 characters. If this student will be working in Read Naturally Live, you'll assign them a license. And then if you know the lead teacher, you can select that lead teacher. Otherwise, you can uncheck the box if you don't know who the lead teacher is, and then that lead teacher can pick up that student at another time. I know who the lead teacher is going to be, so I'm going to choose that. They'll automatically have access to Read Naturally Live and 1 Minute Reader Live. If you want them to work in, say, Word Warm-Ups Live or Read Naturally Live Espanol, you can check those boxes, or you can uncheck anything you don't want that student to have access to. Contact information, if you want to be able to send anything to a parent or guardian, you can enter the information and then email, and you can enter up to 2 different parent or guardian information. And then you would just save and close once you're done, or save and add another, or save and close. So now I'm going to go back to that student administration page. And I'm going to talk a little bit about single sign-on and rostering within Read Live. Read Live offers several single sign-on options available for students only. We don't offer single sign-on for staff members at this time. Schools can choose their preferred single sign-on options, Classlink, Clever, or Google Classroom. Just a few notes about each single sign-on option. Classlink is a single sign-on and rostering connection. This means that student lists must be set up in Classlink by a Classlink administrator, and those students will sync to Read Live automatically. Clever is a single sign-on only connection. Once students are manually added or imported through the Read Live interface and the Read Live single sign-on app is set up in Clever by a Clever administrator, students will be able to access Read Live through their Clever portal. Just a note for site license accounts, we offer a clever single sign-on and rostering connection. This app provides a nightly synchronization of student rosters in addition to the standard single sign-on. This option is only available upon request by accounts that have building-wide site licenses. Roster synchronization is limited by the number of licenses within the ReadLive account. Sharing more students than licenses will result in a failure of the data sync. If rostering is set up in Classlink or Clever, the ability to manually edit students from within ReadLive is disabled. Google is also a single sign-on only connection, and once students are manually added or imported through the ReadLive interface, students will be able to access ReadLive through a custom single sign-on link, which can be added to a Google Classroom or posted to a website. Note for Clever and Google single sign-on, the student's email address must be included with the student's ReadLive record for single sign-on to work. Please contact our tech support team to guide you through these options. They can be reached at 800-788-4085, extension 3, or support@readnaturally.com. So I'm going to go back to my home page, click on Student Administration, and go to Student Import. I'll click on the link to the importing student data. This gives exact specifications for how the import file should work. On page 2 is a template that you can download. And this can be edited in Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. All column headings must stay as they're listed. Not all columns require data, but the required fields are student first name, student last name, student grade, student user ID, student password, and the email is optional. If you're using Clever and Google single sign-on, the email must be included. Once this is completed, once the list is completed, you'll save the file in the place of your choice. So I'm just going to go back to my ReadLive application. I'm going to click Browse. I'm going to click on my document. I'll select the school for that list of students and then click Next. And it tells me that there's errors. So if I click on Review Errors, I can see that there's a duplicate email. So I'm going to cancel out of this. I'm going to update my document and then I'll go back in to browse. Select my school, click Next. And then here I have my list. And there's no errors, so I can click Next. And if I click yes, the import will be scheduled overnight. So I'm going to go back to my home page. So I'm going to pretend that's the next day. My students have been updated. I'm going to go to my student administration page. And then application access. So now I'll select the school. So this was the school that I imported my students into. They're in the account, but they don't have a license. And they don't have access to any of the applications in ReadLive. So I'm going to check the boxes next to the student names. If I choose the first one, hold the Shift key, select the last one, it will highlight all of them. Manage access to ReadLive, I'll click on this button. And then here, add licenses for selected. I can select the lead teacher and then click OK. So all of my students have a license in ReadLive and they automatically have access to Read Naturally Live. If I want to add any of the other programs, I can select the students and then go to that program to add access to that. If, so I'm back on that homepage. I'm gonna go scroll down to the bottom to reports. And here, there are several reports that you can view. There's a student roster and student passwords. There's also a set of reports for each of the different programs in Read Live. I'm gonna go to student passwords. So here, again, I have these hamburger icons at the top of the page. I can filter to that school that I imported overnight because I don't remember my student passwords. If I check the boxes next to their name, generate reports for selected, it will bring up the information, the student name, their grade, their user ID, and password. And I can print that or just view it so that I know what their information is. You can easily navigate to our Read Live help page by clicking help at the bottom of the page. Our Read Live help page has many valuable resources. There's several short videos to walk you through setting up Read Live and then working with students in Read Naturally Live, Word Warm-Ups Live, 1 Minute Reader Live, or Read Naturally Live Espanol. On the right side of the page are several job aids. There's a section for Read Live, the Smart Start Guide and User Guide. Each of the programs in Read Live has a separate page. There's training resources, there's job aids, webinars at the top of the page. Our training tab has several training options, and also you can view our webinars. You can see what's coming up. You can register for those. You can also see our past recordings. If you have any questions or need help, please reach out 800-788-4085 or customer service at readnaturally.com or support at readnaturally.com. Thank you for joining us today. Please follow us on your favorite social media platform. And just a reminder that we'll be sending out follow-up emails with links to the webinar in about 24 hours. Please feel free to share that recording with your colleagues. And please respond to any survey questions that appear on your screen after the webinar so we can continue to improve the educational experience for all of you and our future webinars. Thank you for your participation and enjoy the rest of your day.